George Slaughter, a good friend of mine, George and I left MCA on the same day, and I left to be the entertainment director of the Flamingo in Vegas and Tahoe and Reno and all that. And he became the entertainment director of Ciro's here in Hollywood. And he started a show with the Record Academy called Best on Record. And he would go in and he would tape it. It was done in a hotel at the Hilton Hotel. And he would tape, you know, the acts. And then 4 or 5 months later, he would edit all that tape into a show called Best on Record. And that was on the networks for 5 years. And the networks dropped it. They wasn't making it. And so George didn't want to continue with it because if it wasn't working there, how was he going to make it work someplace else? And he was tired of it. And he had a partner who later on became a hugely successful television packager. He had a big show on for years. I forget the name of it, but it was a big top 10 hit. So I said, well, George, do you mind if I go after it? I had a record label in those days, and I knew the language of the record business, and I knew all the heads of all the record labels, and I knew all the people at the Record Academy. And there weren't a lot of people at the Record Academy. There was about 4 people there. There was Jim Conkling, who was the president of Capitol Records and also of the Record Academy. And there was Paul Weston, and there was, oh God, I forget who else. Alan Livingston from the Variety, the old critic on Variety, music critic, and Christine Farnon. And so I went, I talked to Christine Farnon, and she said, well, she says, you know, we've tried to do it and we've been unable to do it. And I'll put the committee together and you can come and talk to the committee. And I did. And I answered all their questions. And the net result of it all was that I had the rights to buy I had an option to buy the rights to the Grammy Awards as a yearly show on network television. Little did I know that I would have an impossible time selling it. I couldn't sell it. And I had a partner in those days, a financial partner, who put up half the money for, I think it was like $175,000, something like that, to get those rights, the option for the rights. And we couldn't sell it. We finally got one network, ABC, to say, look, if you do this show with a middle-of-the-road MC like Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra or Andy Williams, then we'd be interested. So that's a long story of getting Andy Williams, and we got Andy Williams to do it. Andy was a very, very close, he was my closest friend. And he was also a fan of mine, and we played golf every weekend, and we were just very, very close. And got down and begged agreed to do it. And then we went to the Hollywood Palladium. And we were a big success there. And then the way we were able to make the deal with the Record Academy, because the president of the Record Academy was in Nashville, and naturally he wanted Nashville as part of that thing, or there was no deal. So we said, okay, you can make it a cycle of L.A., New York, Nashville, L.A., New York, Nashville, and then we'll give you the rights, or we'll give you the option. They did that, but we couldn't sell the goddamn thing. And they finally, ABC said, look, we'll give you a deal, a 7-year deal, 1-year firm and 6 one-year options if you deliver one of these middle-of-the-road MCs. And that's how we got on. And at the Palladium, I had to go out in the street and get people walking by to come in and fill the place up, because Andy didn't publicize it. He didn't like the idea of doing it.